Starting, I would like to express my gratitude to our Heavenly Parents, true parents of heaven, earth, and mankind. Hello, dear brothers and sisters. I am Lee Sang Hun, the eldest son of the Lee Ju-hyun Kim Hwa-jin family, second generation. I completed a short period of half a year service at the Chunwon Great Church and from June to December last year, and then ended up in the 11th Spiritual Training Workshop in Heavenly Europe and Middle East region, where I stationed at the Comberg Training Center in Germany. I was born as a blessed child, but I knew that my faith was not deep. My parents dedicated as public servants, and I grew up under their expectations, but I still lacked a deep root of my faith. The deepest motivation for my faith was the fear of death in the spiritual world without understanding the heart of true parents. I was pretending to have faith. However, during the 5th spiritual training in 2023, I experienced a turning point in my life. I experienced a complete collapse of the anxiety and emptiness that had hidden in my faith. In that moment, I realized from that moment that uniting with True Mother is the essence of faith. From that moment, my life changed. Through the grace of Chuncheon, I was reborn and resurrected. Thanks to the invitation of Moon In Pyo, the director of Heavenly Europe and Middle East branch, I could complete the 21-day training at Cheongpyeong in September 2024, and then I moved on to the Combeck Center in Germany on January 25th and completed the 40-day 11th spiritual training. Based on my experience there in Germany and my 21 days, I want to share my reflections. When I arrived at the Combeck Training Center in Germany, I was quite surprised. I was assigned to the same room as Moon In Pyo, the branch director, and we shared 2 single beds that were very close together. When I lay down to sleep at night, I could hear the sound of his breathing, and when I turned to my head, I could see him, and when I reached my hand out, I could touch him. Director Moon In Pyo would stay up the latest at night and wake up the earliest in the morning to wake me up. I often felt inadequate, and I showed many of my flaws, which made me feel sorry for him, but at the same time, it was a precious time to be able to be so close to such a great person. I was especially impressed by the stories of the European members' struggles with their faith. I want to believe and accept the theory of true parents, but if I don't understand it with my head, it's difficult to have faith. European members and youth find it hard to accept new teachings unless they understand them logically and rationally. As such, the young second and third generation members in Europe have a strong tendency to try to understand true parents logically and rationally. However, faith is not something that can be understood simply by the head. I did not answer the trainees' questions with shallow knowledge I knew, but I reported their concerns to Director Moon In Pyo. Then Director Moon In Pyo said, rather than providing the answer, they must come to the realization on their own. The reason was clear. Listening to someone's explanation and understanding it is merely accepting it with the head, but it is not experiencing it with the heart. To truly accept true parents, realization must come from a heart-based foundation. Therefore, Director Moon In Pyo studied the lectures on the life of true parents every day, and based on that, he lectured the trainees directly. I was deeply impressed by his dedication and realized, again, what the path of true faith is. One day, Director Moon In Pyo shared his faith story with the trainees together. When I was young, as a second-generation member, I experienced extreme confusion about my identity, and it was painful. One night, in a dream, one day, Reverend Moon In Pyo shared his faith story. When I was young, as a second-generation member, I experienced extreme confusion about my identity, and it was painful. But one night, in a dream, True Father appeared and said, I am your father. In that moment, all doubts and conflicts disappeared. No matter what path True Father walked, he is my father. And at that moment, faith ultimately starts from a heart of love. That's why Director Moon In Pyo, that's why I know that he is my father, because I love my father and walking this path. At that moment, I realized faith ultimately starts from a heart of love. That is why Director Moon In Pyo led the effort to break down the hard spiritual walls of the European spiritual realm. It was to testify about the spiritual history of true parents on the European continent. Europe had many young second and third generation members who had different languages and cultures, and some had never met true parents in person. But in their hearts, they had a love for true parents that was greater than anyone else. In their hearts, they had a love for true parents that was greater than anyone else. I prayed to True Mother as I witnessed their transformation. True Mother, they don't know Korean. They have a deeper heart, faith in their heart and love in their heart. True Mother, they don't know Korean, and some of them have never met true parents. But these are people who love true parents more than anyone. In the Heavenly Europe and Middle East spiritual training, I inherited the standards of the spiritual training in Korea and participated in daily unified prayer practices, independent all-night vigils, all-night devotion, connected with the main headquarters, life course lectures, true parents. This was not just, and the pilgrimage to sacred sites to experience true parents. This was not just a program. It was a history in which heaven was together with us, and a time spent with the only begotten daughter, the substantial Holy Spirit, True Mother. All through all these processes, the deepest realization I had is that True Mother's heart. We often say we will become one with True Mother. But I began to realize how deeply I had felt True Mother's difficulties, loneliness, a desperate heart as she walked the path alone for 10 years, proclaiming the only begotten daughter. On the last night, heaven showed us its work. Those who had struggled to understand and accept true parents up until then began to pray with hearts that could understand true parents' feelings. One of the trainees began to try to understand the path true father walked. And in that moment, I was able to witness that one child had come to the realization, they have finally become one with true parents' heart. I began to think that those who had struggled to understand with their heads had now practiced the practice of Jung in their heart of a child, truly understanding their parents. I went to Europe with a short-term missionary. We could allow us to be reborn in True Mother's womb and blessing us as holy families, opening up a new era. We could join in all of the activities ahead of the March opening entrance ceremony. I plan to stay for a short time in the special training session to cleanse my body and my mind to prepare for the entrance ceremony. Through my time as the Director of European Spiritual Training, I realized that the new truth cannot be understood only with the head, but must be accepted by the heart and mind. Only then can we fully accept heaven's providence and resonate with the true heart. I am deeply grateful to true parents for trusting and waiting for me until now. And I pray that I can go forward with a simple, pure dedication. And I want to unite with the heart, resonate with true parents' heart, become one with True Mother. Up until now, I realized that I'm deeply grateful to true parents for trusting and waiting for me until now. I want to express my gratitude and also my insufficiency. I clearly define the direction I must take. Holy Mother Han, I will become a child of the blessed families who fulfills my responsibility in your place. Thank you very much.